Kristin Bauer Van Straten is the vampire we all know and love on HBO's True Blood. Never missed an episode. Anybody else never missed an episode? Okay, I'm gonna trump you all though. Anybody else never missed an episode while watching live when it airs? Not taping. You right there. I'm quite proud of myself. I don't tape this. I don't get it the season after the season was done. They don't tell me what happened. I watch this shit live. Okay. So for 5 seasons, with the 6th revving up this summer, she's played the daughter and business partner of Eric Northman. Nobody likes him, I can tell. She has the best lines of the night. She wears the best costumes on the show. She is the sassiest Walking Dead swagger we've ever seen. She will personally eat, fucking kill all of us if we're lucky. When I wrote that down, I was like, are they gonna remember if she said that, or am I just gonna sound crazy? You remember, thank you so much. You guys, I'm going to you for later questions. Ready? Kristin Bauer Van Straten, please come up here. You get that, right?
I don't want to ever forget Eat, Fucking Kill. That was a great reminder.
She remembers too. I thought maybe you would think I was kind of weird if I was like, can you eat, fucking kill us?
In that order.
In that order.
Okay.
Which actually, I mean, that's, and see, I'm already going off my notes, which is probably not the best idea.
No, I love it.
When you pick up a script, when you pick up a True Blood script, do you look through and highlight, this is a winner, this is a winner? I mean, you do get the best lines. And you've always gotten the best lines, even way back in season 1 where you weren't, you know, as huge as you were this past season. What's that like when you receive a script? Do you surf for your lines?
I do, because now they come in digitally. So with Adobe Reader, there's the little find drop-down menu, and I can put in Pam and hit enter, enter, enter until I see me. And then, right, let's be honest, and then I now at this point, I didn't in the beginning, but I would go, that's a great line, you know, and how am I going to do it, and you're finding your way. And now I go, oh, that's good. That's one of those lines.
Well, because at this point now you know, it's been 5 seasons, 6 upcoming, and you've done Comic-Cons before, and you've been doing this long enough to have met so many big fans, I'm sure. And you must hear that from everybody. I love the way you deliver that shit. Do you have a sailor mouth in your real life, or was this something you had to work on to really give the zing?
When I was 4, sitting around the dinner table with my family in Wisconsin on the farm, my mom said, eat your beans, Chris, and I said, I'm not gonna eat these fucking beans. So, it's, yeah.
Fuck her for trying to make it. Is this the fastest a moderator has told you to tell your mom to go fuck herself?
Or ever, actually.
That was not on my list of things to say.
We're bonded for life.
I would like to apologize. Okay, so let's talk about season 6. What happens?
Well, there's probably going to be some nudity.
Okay, anyone in particular?
Probably everyone.
Everyone. Something. Was everyone writing this down? These are spoilers.
Little blood.
Blood, just a little bit of blood. Okay.
Some corsets for Pam.
Thank God. Because I'm not going to let them just put a burqa on you and change it. They've given your character some twists. They rotted your face off. That was very rude.
Wasn't that
But they cannot take away your outfits.
And even when my face was rotting, I had false eyelashes and lipstick on, which I thought was so hilarious.
You got to try, girl.
You're right.
Actually, so let's skip ahead. That's on my list of things to ask, but not yet. Let's see how this is going. I'm just going right off script. That was season 4 where your face rotted off, right?
Yeah.
How long did you sit in a makeup chair to get that done?
Ooh, it was intense. You know, it was on average 4 to 5 hours, but the first curse in the woods from Marnie, where my face starts rotting and I go, that was 9 hours in the chair.
9 hours?
It was 3 hours where they put a little bit of rot starting. And then we went out back into the woods, and I went, and then cut, went back in the chair for 3 hours.
So you really couldn't mess that up?
I really didn't want to mess it up. And there was, I don't even know if it'd be funny to retell, but then we went to the next stage, and then we got to the stage, I think the second stage was pulling it off. And I just kept practicing over and over because I didn't want to go through the reset.
Yeah.
And our sweet Masters FX guy Dan kept saying, just put your finger in the hole and push.
I've heard that before.
And I was like, okay, but I was so focused, I kept saying to myself, put my finger in the hole and push. Put my finger in the hole and push. It was so surreal in the middle of the night.
Well, I mean, you know, not to dwell on this one space, but what happens on a show like that when you've got, you know, hundreds of witches standing around and the whole crew standing around? Let's say hypothetically you were to mess that up and you got your wrong and you said or whatever it was. Is that's hours that everyone's sitting around waiting for you?
Yeah, and it was cold. So you don't want to do that to your fellow actors or anybody, and you know, I just want to get it right, you know. So
you do get it right. I want to talk about season 5, because that was the season of Pam. I mean, right? Am I right? Like, very exciting. We got to know your background finally. It was more than just like every once in a while you pop in and go, fuck that shit, and leave. I mean, the whole thing. And I want to focus on the costuming for when it was like 1903 or 1905 or whatever it was. The costuming was beautiful, and her name on my handy notes, Audrey Fisher. Her costuming. Is she award-winning? What is her process for, you know, how she designs those costumes? Because that was beautiful.
She is so amazing. I love her. I mean, it's such a big part of Pam is the writing and the costumes. And Audrey takes so much time with every outfit. And I really, you know, I hate that True Blood gets passed over for the big award.
It does. I wasn't going to bring that up because I don't know if you're sensitive about that.
I'm a little pissed off because, and not so much for myself, but we all feel that the crew is doing such an unbelievable job, but because we fall into a certain genre, you know, they don't get the attention they deserve.
Sex and blood and killing and drugs.
Right? Like
that's a good genre.
Right? I don't understand why this. I
don't understand either, but I was very pleased to find out that you are a madam and not a common prostitute.
Right?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, you were the boss. When you were reading, I don't know if you read the books before you joined the cast, but when this was unfolding for you as you were reading it on your Adobe, as we know, were you like, fuck yeah, that's what her deal is? Like, do you feel like this is all unfolding perfectly for Pam?
I thought it was so perfect, and I waited so long.
No joke.
Right? And at the end of season 4, we were at Comic-Con, and Alan Ball said next year, oh, it was so sweet, we were at Paley Fest actually, and they asked different cast members what they wanted to see on the show, and Alex said, I want to see our backstory. And we'd been making up this backstory. I don't know what he had in his head, and I had something in my head. But when I saw it come through on the page, I just thought it was so perfect because it explained everything we know about Pam.
For all of the time that you've been on the show, it does seem like you've shared the most screen time with Alex Skarsgard. The women, like, every time I bring his name up, they're like,
dead silent.
Is he unattractive in real life? And does he smell like caramel? And also, does he talk about me? You don't have to answer any of those, but in all seriousness, like, you guys share a lot of screen time together. You've obviously been friends for years. It seems like you're very close. Did he teach you Swedish, I think is the question.
He, you know, oh God, that is such a nightmare for me. So they, you know, the script will come in and it'll say the line in English, but then it'll be in parentheses, it'll say in Swedish. And I go, fuck. So then I started texting and calling and emailing Alex, did you see this? And then calm down. And he, you know, records himself saying it in Swedish.
Gross. Nobody wants to hear that.
It's so gross.
That's lame. I can't believe he does that. I don't even want to hear it. Oh my god, you know how much money you can sell those for? How much is Burt Ward charging for his autograph?
I know!
I want a personalized message from him in Swedish.
Well, when I started auctioning things for charity and my charities from the cast, Alex would, you know, finish his coffee and throw it in the trash, and I'd think, I could, and I'd have a sandwich, and like, that's like $1,000, I think. Like, you know how many elephants I could save? But like,
you know she saves the elephants, right? We're gonna get to that. That's not this stack, you guys. That's this stack. I should get to that. We have to talk about that. You are in the right place, lady. We love our animals up here, but
I love that here.
Just a couple more True Blood questions.
Yeah.
Then you guys will fill in the rest of the True Blood questions when you get the mic time. Are you a vegan or are you vegetarian?
I'm actually vegetarian, and I aspire to be vegan, and am vegan when I'm not traveling.
It's completely impractical. We're not going to blame you. It is. Are you? If there's any vegans in the audience, you guys are great. It's nothing against you, but it's really impractical. For you, are you grossed out by the amount of gore, albeit fake gore, on the show? Like, can you even bear looking at all that blood?
I can handle human gore. It's the animals.
Gross.
Yeah.
One last question about True Blood, and then we can go on to the animal stuff because I don't want to get too far away from it before we potentially run out of time, which should never happen. But can you tell us how you originally auditioned for True Blood?
It was towards the end of, we had like 3 years of striking. So the writer struck, the director struck, the actor struck, and so it was very hard to work for quite a long time. And once auditions started happening, it was really a relief. So I got a call to go in to read for, you know, the manager is very excited because his job is to get you these auditions. So he'll call and go, oh my God, you're going in for Alan Ball. I'm like, stop talking, because I have to go in and get into the room and not be too nervous. And then he goes, it's HBO. I'm like, oh my God, it's vampires. I was like, stop talking. So then,
was that a positive for you?
So positive. Like, I was in at Alan, but, you know?
Yeah.
And then HBO I've always loved. And I used to watch Deadwood.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorites still, and I used to think, wow, to be on a show like that.
And Alan Ball was 6 Feet Under too, right?
Yes.
Maybe the greatest series before True Blood. And
right?
Potentially the series finale was like one of the best moments on TV, you know?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But back to True Thing.
In American Beauty.
Yes.
I mean, I was in it. So I was just, oh wow. And then vampires. Like, oh my God. And they usually, I didn't have a history of getting cast for tough characters. And I just thought that it was this blonde thing, and you know, they would never...
You don't look like you can pull a knife and stab me right now.
Right?
I believe you can, now that we've spent some time together.
We talked a little before we...
She'll stab you.
Oh yeah.
She will, she'll stab you, but nicely.
It's not personal.
No, of course it's not personal, it's business.
It's business. So then it was really sort of, not really even a scene, it was sort of snarky Pam quotes kind of cut together. So I just went in and did them, and then they called 3 weeks later and said, would you come in and do them again? Well, they had put me on tape, they had recorded the audition, and so you know when you have to come back, when they can just rewind the tape, it's because you did some things right, but they're on the fence. So it always makes me nervous because I don't know which of the things were right and which of the things put them on the fence.
So it's like The Price is Right, where they've guessed all the numbers, but then they know that one is wrong, so they start rearranging numbers and they don't know which one?
Yes!
Is this the common metaphor that you get when you... You guys know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, you know, $23,294, and they're like, one is wrong.
Right.
Like, shit, I really want that Geo Metro.
Right, and then...
You know what I'm talking about?
Or 800 cans of tuna or something.
I want that. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, and I wanted this. So I go, why? Why are they having me in again? And sometimes it's because they add more people in the room that will decide. And they want to see you in person. No, same people. Fuck. Well, let's look at the tape, you know, why do I? No, they want you to come in. Okay, so I went in, I did my thing, and I thought, that's pretty much what I did the first time. So, and then I went to the Philippines for a month to do a movie and forgot about life. I mean, it's so different to go to the third world, as you know.
I do.
Yeah.
$3 massages.
Like, for $6, you get 2 people.
2 people massaging you.
You get 4-hand massage.
4 hands on you for $6.
Yes. And I had, this is really, we really should be alone and not with microphones.
Pretend like they're not here.
Okay.
Tell me what happened.
I've been single for way too long.
Go
I got
on.
that 4-hand massage.
Everyone be quiet. Tell your private story.
I was sure I was gay. And then someone said, were your eyes open? I go, no. Maybe I am still straight. I don't really care.
It's the Philippines. I'm here for a month.
Right?
Whatever. What happens in the Philippines?
What
costs
happened? 4 hands.
Seriously.
Right? An enormous tip, $15.
What's happening now? This is not on my notes.
It was awesome.
Sounds awesome.
So then I get this text, you got True Blood, and I'm like, what's that?
I better put my clothes on.
Yeah. I'm in love with 2 Filipino women, I'm pretty sure. So, what?
But screw you guys, I have to go back to LA. Good luck with everything.
And then my manager was like, is the HBO Vampire Ellen Ball? I was like, oh my God! So I flew back in, and you know, I finally had adjusted to the Philippines time zone, which is opposite hours, and then, you know, a 94-hour flight, and I get off the plane and they send me over to get my fangs made. So it was like, you know, the whole dental.
Yeah, because those are the real deal fangs. You
They're
ever
the
get used
real
to
deal.
having those in?
No.
They look very painful. I bet it's hard to actually talk without stabbing yourself.
It is. The first day when I was going to wear them was also Alex's first day.
Gross. Stuff in his mouth? That's gross. Go on. Did he need your help? Wait, I know what you're going to say. He needed your help putting the fangs into his mouth, and so you did that thing where you just stick your finger in and push.
Which he doesn't find strange at all.
Into his mouth.
Yeah, he's totally used to me doing that by now.
So gross. It's gross that you're friends with him. Go on. Look at your fangs.
So I saw, as he was finishing, I was showing up, and I said, did you talk with your fangs in? He goes, yeah. And I said, is it easy? He said, no. And I go, really? Seriously? He goes, I'd practice. And I did not get to practice, and it didn't go so well.
Ouchie.
Yeah, because I was supposed to be being tough and cool. And I kept saying, can I practice? Are my fangs here? Does anyone have my fangs? And they brought him in, put him in my mouth. I was like, holy shit, they're enormous. And they go, smile, and I did. Took them back to match the color, and I said, can I have those back? And he was gone. And then I got in the scene with Jason Stackhouse, where he comes to Fantasia. And you know, I'm being all cool, and they said, okay, so we just got to roll. So say your lines, then we're going to hand you the fangs, you put them in, and you say your lines again. And then with CGI, they make them click in and out. So I said, you're nothing like your sister. And then they handed me the fangs. And I went, you're nothing like a sister. And then that's what happened with the whole crew. I just heard this silence, and then even Ryan was like, okay, I can't continue.
Stephen Moyer seems to wear the fangs the most.
He wears them the most, and he's the best.
He's the best at wearing the fangs, right?
And I went to interview him about this when I was having trouble, and I said, how do you do it? Because he is great in them. And he said, you just have to take the pain. And really it is. They just poke down in your bottom lip.
The things we do for love. He directed a couple episodes this season, yeah?
He did.
How is he behind the camera?
Amazing.
Amazing, that's wonderful. Did he direct Premiere?
Yes.
He did.
Which is really big.
What happens in the premiere? Are you still with Tara? Oh my God, right, you guys? talking about, we're supposed to be talking about animals and stuff, but let me just say that when you guys started making it, I was like, oh my god, right? That was exciting. When you got in the script, were you like, oh my god? Did you guys like text each other and oh my, was there a lot of what I just said going on?
Yeah, we did do a bit of that, and then you know, on the day. I mean, we both got stomach aches from all the mints because we didn't know exactly when the kiss would happen. So we'd go back and we'd be popping mints, and then they go, no, we're going to cut before the kiss. Okay.
We knew that Pam liked gals because it's been going on every once in a while during a season. You'll be like sucking some poor girl's thigh out. And we're like, right. Oh, Pam, you're so bad.
Pam, you went to the Philippines, didn't you?
Filipino leg sucking. All right, so we'll get off True Blood for a while until everyone wants to ask their True Blood questions. But you know, in doing my research for this panel, I discovered so much about you that I was not aware of. I mean, you are a jewelry designer, you're a painter, you're a writer, you are a huge animal activist, and for me, there's so much I want to talk about. So I guess before I start peppering you with my thick stack of questions, maybe I should just ask you if there's anything specific that you want to make sure you mention as far as your foundations, what you raise money for. Is there anything specific that you want to make sure you mention before I ask you leading questions about wrong things?
Well, the main thing I'm working on right now, which has been all-consuming, started in hiatus last year, is I went to Africa for a month. It was so great.
She says she cries a lot in her real life, so just let her go with it.
Yeah, I do. It's terrible. I cry like 50 times a day. And you do?
Pipe down over there. We're still in my time. I'm just kidding. It's okay. She's probably crying now. I'm sorry.
She's already crying.
Tell us about Out of Africa.
So, my husband's from South Africa and his family's from Kenya. And I had also, through working with this animal rights group, IFAW, International Fund for Animal Welfare, they had this dinner in Hollywood for just like 10 Hollywood people, and
they served tigers and elephants.
That's a joke, you guys. They served endangered species, and it was awesome.
It's a joke because it's obviously not true.
And it all tastes like
She's
chicken.
an animal activist. They don't do that. Okay, go on.
And so this really amazing, sweet dude from Kenya, we're in the middle of this dinner, at the end of this dinner, and he says, you know, I came all this way because my elephants are dying, and I need your help. And I'm like, who, me? No, he can't mean me. Like, I pray to God he means someone else because I'm really fucking busy, and I live here in the United States, so the fuck am I supposed to do about elephants in Africa? And for the next few months, I started looking online about what was happening to the rhinos, and I watched rhinos go extinct in Africa, and for their horn, and I thought, oh my God. And I just kept looking and looking, and then I thought, well, what the hell can I do about it? So we ended up going to Kenya and shooting. I took a camera crew and my husband, and we just went and talked to people and asked Africans, so what's happening and what can we do to help you? And it was really great. So now I'm editing, which is a really, you know, I've never done any of this and I don't know what I'm doing, so it's all exciting and frightening and tiring and wonderful and life-changing.
So it's just out of love. This is a love project.
It is.
It's about poachers.
Yeah.
Which people are, the news trickles here.
Yeah.
It trickles here. Most recently it was like a herd of 22 just, and it's not the people there. The people there love the animals too, but it's the poachers. So
it is.
What can some money do?
What is amazing is the places that we went to, there's 4 or 5 documentaries being done on this same topic in the same place right now because it's so bad. And we did less than 10 years to try to keep elephants in the wild. And it's all for their ivory and for their tusks, and it's for chopsticks or a vase.
For chopsticks.
For chopsticks. And so we decided to go to, because there's a lot of, you know, documentaries take a very hard look at things. And so I kind of took a little different tack only because the other way is being covered. And also, I spend my life looking at animal rights issues, and it's very hard. and very depressing. So what I'm going to do with my documentary is show the great work that people are doing. I mean, it's like, we went to places where they're actually winning, and they're actually like Kenyans in their own country they can win. They just need 50 bucks for shoes, you know. They don't need much, and they don't want anything. They don't live the way we live. They don't care about things. Their idea of success and happiness is not our idea of success and happiness. I realized as a Westerner, when I think and I dream, I think of success, and I think of my mortgage paid off or whatever. They don't. They just sort of live with their wildlife and with each other in a completely different, magical way, and they're happier than we are. I couldn't believe it.
It obviously had a very profound effect on you.
It was wild.
Did this surprise your husband at all? You said he's from there.
Yeah, and he is different than I am.
He's very handsome.
He's very handsome.
His name's Aubrey, yes, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could maybe tell us a little bit about the story about how you guys met, because that is some crazy shit. Kristin.
It all comes back to that massage again, because I was like, I gotta do something.
You went out and got that man.
I did. So I, you know, went like another year after the massage, single, and came back to LA, and I had this really awful week, you know, just one of those Hallmark bad weeks, and I thought, I'm going to get a tattoo, and I'm going to get laid.
I've been there, my sister.
Right? And then you're sitting there like, well, how do I do either? Honestly, I don't know what I want. I don't know who I want.
If only we met before now. I could have helped you, but go on.
My husband would be so horrified that I'm telling this story.
Nobody's gonna tell him anything.
Okay, good.
Be cool.
If anyone's filming this, I will kill you.
Nobody's filming it.
So I started designing my tattoo, and then I went to the nutritionist's office, and there was one chair open with a CD on it, and the lady sitting next to that chair, I said, is this your CD? Can I sit here? And she was like, yeah, it's my CD. Oh my God, this is the most awesome band. And she went on and on and on. And I just wasn't in the mood.
Typical person in a nutritionist's office.
Right.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
All hopped up on lavender. Go on.
Vitamin C.
Seriously.
So I finally realized I wasn't going to get out of this conversation. So I, you know, said, oh, okay, tell me about the fucking CD.
Very nice.
Right, wasn't I sweet?
Tell me your fucking dumb story. Go on.
You fruity nut bar. And she went on about it so long that I actually got curious. And I went and got it on iTunes. And then I got a little more curious, because his voice is like heaven. And I then did a little internet research and found a video.
And the name of the band is, it's all right, give him a plug.
That he was with this band called the Lemmings in South Africa. And the video I watched way too many times, and I started thinking, well, why can't I ask him out?
Exactly.
And my friends were like, oh,
I'm just gonna get a tattoo and start emailing this rock star. It's all good.
It's all good, man.
All good.
All hopped up on lavender myself.
You know, you got
right? All
good.
Cranked up on B12 and shit.
Let's do it. I love it. So you email, what, you email like through the website? Like info
MySpace.
MySpace. And how many years ago was this?
4.
And you've been married for how long?
4.
I love that. That's hilarious. Now, does that mean that people can email you through your website and you will... She's like, shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. Your website's awesome though, by the way. Has everyone been to her website? There's a lot of great information. Beautiful paintings for sale.
Thank you.
Really lovely stuff. You're like a Renaissance woman. And one thing that I found on your website was this quote by Edmund Burke. You know the one I'm about to say?
Yeah.
This really seems like you. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
That's what got me into this documentary mess.
You live by this?
Yeah, I do.
How many animals do you have living in your house right now? Are you dogs and cats too, or just bigger picture?
2 dogs, 2 cats, and the husband.
And the husband. I know. You are also a jewelry designer.
Yeah.
Tell us about this line and the purpose of the line.
So I've got 2 necklaces that I did. One's called Care a Little More, and that goes to benefit endangered species. And then I have this elephant necklace that is benefiting the African elephant.
How do all these fine people get the elephant necklace? Or do you just have the one and have
yeah,
push you
it's
over
not the best business model.
I have this one necklace, and we're going to sell it.
And we're going to sing Africa with it.
Does anyone have $1 million?
It's really expensive, this one necklace. On my website, you can find links to the places to get these things.
Where do you find the time to do all this stuff?
I'm so friggin' tired. It's so exhausting.
What's your, your average day, shoot inclusive, or if you want to tell us weekend, whatever you want to tell us, what is your average day? Because I know, I wake up at 4:30 or I'm at work at 4:30, and then I play with my kid for the rest of the day, and I walk my dogs, and then by 7 o'clock, if I don't have a cocktail and a pillow, you don't want to be around me.
I know.
So,
I need to start drinking.
Yeah, you have to start drinking.
I do. I don't drink.
Oh, you have to try it.
It's not for any reason. Like
I just double have to
don't drink because of the schedule. I don't get the time. And
also,
then now,
you can't be that thin if you want to drink.
Right.
Because I am actually an extremely thin person under all this. I'm in amazing shape, I'm serious. You guys don't know. You don't know. The sad part is no, I'm kidding. But no, don't start drinking.
I have a very skinny friend who drinks a lot, but she must not eat them.
Of course she doesn't eat. You live in LA.
Right.
Tell us what your average day is like with all this work.
I just get up at 9 and go to bed at 1, and 7 days a week, and I just do stuff.
That is a terrible answer to my question. Which was, no, not on my sheet, but a valid question.
It just goes and goes. Like, if I'm not, the set days are like a vacation to me. Because I go to the set and I hang out with my buddies and I do one thing for 14 hours and it is heaven. One
amazing thing, although how can it be heaven with those shoes?
I know.
Those are, will they ever let you just maybe have some moccasins, some flats, or like flip-flops? Remember when the hot trend like 5 years ago was cargo pants and flip-flops?
Yes, we did have one where Alex and I were both in matching black sweatsuits and we both had flip-flops, but Pam's were bejeweled, of course.
Yeah.
It was so cute. Like here and there I get a juicy sweat outfit.
You got that nasty looking sweat outfit last season.
Was the Walmart sweatsuit.
When you were very
I love that freaking thing because we were shooting outside. I could put long underwear under it. It was awesome.
I know you can't tell us everything about season 6, but just promise that we're going to see as much Pam as we got in season 5. Will you? Can you promise that without being a liar?
I can't, but so far so good.
So far, how far along are you in shooting?
Episode 3.
Episode 3, so it just started. So what happens in the first 2 episodes? Stuff like I do during the day.
Like a lot of stuff like I do all day.
It's the worst interview. You're so awesome. Isn't she awesome? It's been so exciting because, I've been doing radio for a long time. I know I look extremely young, but I'm looking right at you because that was so audible. For those of you in the back who missed it, she was like, "Whew." Thank you. It's okay. Get in here. It's okay. But I was going to say, I've been doing radio exclusively my whole life since I graduated college, and I've interviewed a lot of people, and I've had the chance to sit down with some people that I really admired. It's always so nice when they are decent people who care about other things beside themselves. I'm thinking of so many different rock stars right now. You live in LA. Is it frustrating for you to to be like this, to be a giving person with concerns that are big picture concerns, that, you know, that are global concerns of a global nature. Like, do you find just eating at craft services and like looking around and thinking of some people being very superficial in Hollywood?
It is frustrating.
It must be.
And I think of all the things, you know, like I used to buy the Inquirer when I would travel because it was just entertainment. And then I started thinking, oh my God, what this magazine could do, or any magazine could do, or because if we just, there's so much, for lack of better words, negativity out there. But if you focus on all the good that's happening, so many people are doing so much that's great. And it's so interesting.
That doesn't sell magazines though, unfortunately.
It just apparently, and you know, then you wonder, well, we tried, like would it? So I'm gonna see with my documentary, because I think we all have a little bit of bad news fatigue. So I'm supposed to be watching other documentaries all the time, and I just can't even face it sometimes because it's just bad. It's hard to see suffering in the world, and so I'm going to try to go the other way. Like, let's look at all these fascinating people, the Jane Goodalls.
Well, that's a great intention. I like what you said earlier, and I meant to bring this up because as a concerned animal activist, as a concerned person for, you know, with various causes, I still don't like to watch documentaries that make me feel sad. I mean, like the PETA stuff that they send me all the time, I look at it, I'm like, oh my God! Like, I don't like to watch the slaughterhouse video.
No.
Food Inc. made me sad. I mean, it's hard to be strong enough to keep your eyes open and all that stuff.
And I watch that stuff every day, and it's really hard. So I'm going to try to not do to other people what's happening inside my mind.
That, or you could start the drinking.
Well, see, I'm pretty sure that's the way to go. I'll let you know next time I see you.
Good, good. Start easy with something called Goldschlager. It's got real gold in it, Kristin.
Schlager? I'm not feeling super optimistic.
I'm kidding. Don't go near Goldschlager. I went to a big-time college and I was a bartender. Now, I'm concerned right now because I feel like I should be telling people to go to the microphones if they have questions. Yep. Is this how it works? We've gone on for quite a while and I have not said, if you have a question for Kristin, please head to one of the microphones. And I apologize in advance if I heckle you, but it's definitely going to happen. Okay. All right, so now you people already knew. I was the only one who didn't know. I'm sorry, madam, we're going to go with the pregnant woman first. Is that, oh, you got the little ass kicker in there. I see, it's Walking Dead. That's not a real baby. You're not pregnant, you liar. Okay,
that baby looks lumpy.
I love my Pam, but I also love Eric. So for all the ladies, I'm really curious, does he wear a Modesty sock on set? Because I heard that he doesn't. You gotta tell me. Okay, he doesn't.
Well, I will just say this. He's Swedish.
That's a no.
That is, you know, we're a puritanical country.
We
should not be.
They let all She's seen it. Now we know that about you. Okay. Madam.
How gross.
Yeah, it's totally gross. I don't want to think of what his penis looks like. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to think of what it looks like.
You can't do that on radio.
You can, but it just sucks. I didn't say I've been doing good radio. Madam, by all means.
Yes, so I have a question about your relationship with Eric, Pam and Eric. It's super intense, and I wanted to get kind of an idea from you what it was like when he released you, how that felt personally, because I know not only on screen, but you can kind of tell that there's really a bond there. So what was that like for you on screen, off screen?
I hated it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't want to make you cry again. Oh, sorry.
She's like, oh, sorry.
No, that was a good question.
Right, I really, when I got the script and read it, I cried, and then at the table read, I cried, and then in rehearsal, I cried. They're like, you should save it. I can't, you know, and then, you know, when the camera was on my back, I cried, and So yeah, I really felt it. For whatever reason, I don't know, I just really felt it.
Felt like the end of something.
Yeah.
Felt like the end of something for me too.
Right?
And obviously for you.
Yeah, it was
I
big
connect
for
so
us.
much on so many levels with him, so.
We didn't want, Alex and I on the day, we're like, we're not gonna shoot it. We won't do it.
You guys locked yourselves together in a room.
Yeah, we won't come out.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Good question.
I had a question regarding the cosmetic line of True Blood and the perfume.
Yeah.
My stepmom got it for me for my birthday because she knows how much I love your character. I'll say something snarky and she'll say, "Where in the hell did you hear that?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it's Pam."
I like how she did. She goes, "It's Pam." That is the second we start rehearsal. I don't know what that is, but
So when she saw the perfume, she got it for me, like right away. And from what I've read, it's inspired by your character. And I wanted to know if you actually had any influence on any of the cosmetics or perfumes.
It's true that you spit in all the perfume bottles. I'm adding on. I'm allowed to do that. Yeah.
that is my influence, my DNA. Yeah, I didn't have any influence on it, but I was involved a little bit in the marketing of it. They included me in that, and it was really interesting because I met the people. It was done by the Borgheses, and I mean, the amount of work in 2 years of trying, and they would use these words. I'm not in the perfume world, and I don't usually wear it, so they'd call it notes. There's a note of this, and there's a note of that, and it was so thought about and carefully done, and also really lovely people who are also trying to save things, and so it was really fun. It was great. Yeah, and I know the design, the look of the bottle was very pretty and really thought out.
Definitely. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Your stepmother sounds nice.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering if there was a particular moment in your life that you could recall that was a catalyst towards becoming a vegetarian or getting interested in animal rights.
I was just trying to put this together because I'm doing the speaking thing on it, and I thought, what is that moment? You know, there's these things like that quote, "All evil needs is for good men to do nothing." And I see that everywhere. And then at a certain point, I thought, I just sort of realized that I don't like suffering others as well. And I don't want to contribute to it, to others' suffering. And I'm doing it everywhere probably, and I don't even know. Like, I don't know, to make jeans soft, in China, these chemicals run out the back door into streams, and I don't even know where these things are happening. And so I went, well, okay, I'm gonna look at it and then decide. So I got this concept of the first thing you have to do is look and make a conscious decision of which team you're playing for. You're playing for the good guys or you're playing for the bad guys. Whether we know it or not, it's still happening. So I went and looked at meat, how it lives, and how my food, before I started studying genetically modified organisms, how we eat all day, every day, but we don't really think about it. We're sort of still like 8 years old. We're like, that tastes good, you know?
You sound like me.
And I thought, well, I'm gonna look. So I looked and went, all right, there's two things. One, how the animal lived, and one, how the animal died. And that's a very specific, whether you think things should die for your food. But I really was like, I'm not okay with something living badly every second of its life until it's killed. Those are two totally separate issues. So I was like, I can eat other shit.
See, it was the I can eat other shit day.
Yeah, it was like, I can eat a carrot or whatever. Like, I don't really care. You know, I can eat a peanut. So that's how it happened.
And that's her diet.
Yeah, it kind of is.
One carrot.
And hummus.
Yeah. You make your own?
No.
What's your brand?
I've got this little, like, funny grocery store near me. It's this awesome little organic, post-apocalyptic looking sort of place.
And they carry your secret
And they're
stash.
like, have some, I don't know who in the back making this stuff.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right?
You don't want to know how the sausage is made.
That's right.
That's what they say. Did you have something else? No? I like you though, you're all right.
Thank you.
I don't want to cut people off like that, but we want to make sure that we get to everyone, and I took up so much time and did such a bad job because I was so busy with all my questions. And then she said I looked old. And then I got off track. Remember when you said that? Remember when you just yelled it out? It doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. It's hard to be upfront, I know. Okay, go. She's like, okay. Go ahead.
I wanted to say thank you. About a year ago, you did a PSA for It Gets Better. And you delivered it with such beauty and such bravery. And I really wanted to thank you. I work with teenagers, and the message is so critical. And so from my heart, now I'm going to go cry. So thank you so much.
I'm starting to cry again. Oh, thank you.
That was a wonderful PSA.
Yeah, it's really important. There are times in our lives where it really doesn't feel like it could get better.
Very honest story too. You guys should all go and click on it. I'm not going to tell you what happens. Madam.
I have kind of a two-part question. The first is whether or not you're expecting to be back on Once Upon a Time. And then, and then the second is you have such little time to prepare between episodes for just one series. How do you juggle 3 in 1 year?
Yeah, I'm tired. B12, that's why I'm at that nutritionist office.
More peanuts and more carrots. More Filipino massages, is that what you said?
Massage, that's right. As far as Once Upon a Time, when the dragon got killed, I was actually flying up there to shoot the scene, and I didn't, because I didn't have lines once I was a dragon, so I actually didn't read that far in Adobe Reader when I searched Maleficent.
Dragon, dragon, dragon.
Other people, whatever. Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
me. And then fucking some dragon. So then I'm, in the makeup chair, and I'm like, do I die? Well, the dragon dies, but I'm the dragon. So I asked them, and they were like, this is, no one really dies. So I was like, okay. So that's all I know. And I don't know if they were just saying that to me because I'm standing in front of them going, are you killing me?
No, us?
Us? Kill you?
We're not going to kill you. We think you're
You explode, but you're not dead.
I mean, it's true. A lot of people do come back on that show.
I don't know, and then that mist came in.
It's a good series. Lots of Once Upon a Time fans here. Seems like a lot of people like the supernatural.
Yes, and I do too.
You tend towards it now, yeah?
I do, and I always did love it. I love a lot of things, but I love, those are the books that I read. I like science fiction, and so it's really fun to be on these shows that do this. Once Upon a Time is a green room and 2 chairs. It's really bizarre. And then as far as preparing, you do get better at, for one with Pam, I've been playing her for a while, so it helps. But still, they write new situations where you don't really know. And luckily on the set, we work it out together.
And it must take you some time to get into those outfits. I'm being serious. That's a lot of latex.
I have a dresser.
You do?
Yeah.
Is it a gay man? It has to be a gay man because the way, really? It's a
girl.
Woman. It's a woman.
Yeah.
Your dresser is amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
It does help that, it's down south and, you're really the only one who's got kind of the flashy gear.
Uh-huh.
You ever look at yourself and think, I'm going to bring this home because my husband has to see this one in person?
I feel so bad for him. Like, he watches the show and I'm sitting there in my sweats. He's like...
Right?
So I take pictures of myself at work and message them to him and then come home in my sweats.
Very nice. Your sweats and your Uggs and your hair up and you're like, no, I can't even. I have other stuff to do.
I'm like, I'm so tired. He's like, oh.
It must be terrible for him.
It's really, the poor guy.
I have another Once Upon a Time question. My roommate and I have really fallen in love with your interpretation of Maleficent, this classic villain, and just wondering if you have any insight in the character, like your personal insight into Maleficent.
When that was like, they called me and said, do you want to do it? And I was with my mom, and she'd broken her leg, and I was trying to get her to the hairdresser, and I was like, Maleficent, oh, that's the green lady with the horns in Sleeping Beauty. And they see her, and I was like, yeah! And then, as I was getting closer to doing it, I thought I just wanted to be different from Pam, because they're both that similar type of character, and I really like when evil characters, when I can find a way where I don't think they're evil, actually. I just think Pam's honest. So she's really loyal. She's got huge integrity. And she's just truthful. And so with Maleficent, I tried to find that thing and play her not evil. You know, and apparently it worked, but you never really know when you're doing it. Mm-hmm. You know, and also Lana, who plays the evil queen, was really great to work with. So we just played around with the scene and had so much fun. And we had a whole day to do that first scene. It was really great.
Isn't that interesting how so many of the most popular characters on TV, like Pam, like have all of the True Blood cast, besides Sookie, who's of course all good all the time. But, you know, other characters like Dexter or, you know, terrorists on Homeland, you're supposed to dislike them, and yet they're somehow sympathetic.
Yes.
And that's why Pam rules also, because you're right, she's a hard ass, and yeah, she'll kill you.
Right.
But only because you deserve it, because you do.
She only kills bad people.
That's right.
Yeah, and her relationship with Eric is so revealing, you know, that she's so...
Tender.
Tender, yeah. I loved that when that happened in season 3. We were all surprised she had a sensitive side. She has, you know, one Achilles heel.
Just the one.
Just the one.
It's because he's so attractive.
Right.
Did you have a second part?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for all your questions.
Thank you.
This has been a really positive experience for me.
For me too.
And I want to thank you for your honesty and for coming out and telling us all your business and your sexy time business and also your important work that you're doing. And I hope that everyone will take some time to check out Kristin's website and support some of the efforts, because we've got our own dialogues going on here with our, you know, elephants in our zoo and GMOs. And these are current important Seattle topics.
Yes.
So you can totally move here if you want.
I want it.
Thank you very much. Round of applause.
Thank you.